pursuit. This is happening in Long Beach. Let's go up top. Mark Kono in Sky 5. Mark.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, that's right. Good morning, everyone. Mark Kono live in Sky 5 HD following a CHP pursuit of what is believed to be a failure to yield. In fact, this pursuit has been going on for the better part of 20 minutes at this point. We first heard this from Sky 5 HD at the 405 and the 710 freeway, and now this person has made his way over towards Surface Streets, coming through the downtown Long Beach, kind of near the Long Beach, the Aquarium of the Pacific, over towards the 710 freeway here. There are at least 3 to 4 units of the CHP in trail of this person here. We're not sure what the initial want was, why they tried to pull him over, but there was a failure to yield and the pursuit was on. This pursuit has not been necessarily traveling at high rates of speed, although you can see that the CHP appears to be moving at a fairly brisk pace here. On Surface Street, we're talking about anywhere from the low side, 20 to 35 miles per hour up towards 50 to 60. Now we're just coming up off of Ocean Avenue here, kind of northbound on that Surface Street here, paralleling the 710 freeway, where he will indeed have an opportunity to jump on the freeway should he decide to do so here. But this again has been on Surface Streets here in Long Beach for the better part of 20 minutes. Initially heard on the 710 freeway near the 405 about 20 minutes ago, where he exited the freeway and made essentially a tour around Long Beach, made his way over towards 2nd Street, over towards Ocean Avenue, and now parallel the 710 freeway. Again, he will have an opportunity to get on that 710 freeway northbound, not in fact too far from where we initially heard the pursuit, where the failure to yield took place near the 710 and the 405 freeway here. This red Saturn, not sure how many people are inside the vehicle. We understand that. Yeah, there.
All right, looks like we got a little glitch in Mark's signal.
Yeah.
We're going to get that right back. Once again, we do have him. Now we got your picture back, Mark. Go right ahead.
Okay, getting on the 710 freeway northbound, guys. 710 freeway northbound, and again, this is where he is coming out of the Long Beach, the downtown Long Beach area here, and his speed is definitely starting to show signs of picking up here, just coming up on PCH here shortly here. But again, the northbound side of the 710 freeway, you know, we've heard time and time again how some suspects might return to places of familiarity. This might be the case here. I've got you. 710 freeway northbound, and we'll be approaching Willow and soon enough the 405 freeway, and that's where we initially picked this up about 20 minutes ago here. So,
believed to possibly be by himself, but right now it's kind of a guessing game for police officers as well.
Right. And one of the things that Mark's pointed out, and you see this often with police pursuits, is that they tend to go to where they're familiar.
Right.
And this person has stayed, relatively speaking, in the Long Beach area. They get off, or they make exits that allow them to stay in that area.
And of course, this time of the morning, as you can tell, not a lot of traffic necessarily for this driver to contend with, at least in this direction. So it's going to be interesting to see how much longer this continues, and traffic is going to start to build shortly. Yeah. And that could become an interesting part. Let's get back up to Mark. Mark, are you with us? Can you give us an idea of his location?
yeah, sure, I'll take it from you guys here. Southbound side of the 405 freeway, just passing Bellflower Boulevard, and that's where we are right now. So we saw this guy transition from the northbound side of the 710 freeway south on the 405 freeway, just past the Long Beach exits here. We just passed Lakewood Boulevard over towards Bellflower. Now, in another half a mile or so, we'll be looking down towards Palo Verde.
And again, he's heading southbound right now on the 405. He's in Orange County, according to Mark Kono, who's been above this in Sky 5 for some time right now. All this started just after 5 o'clock, so, you know, we're getting closer and closer to this being an hour-long pursuit, and who knows how long it's going to last. This is a sedan, a Saturn sedan. It's an older model, so it's one of those, you just don't know how long it could go.
Exactly. I'm not sure if Mark Kono, are we able to check in with you to find out the location right now?
Yeah, here we go, guys. Coming through Fountain Valley here. We just passed Brookhurst and now coming up on Euclid, and it looks like he's passed on the opportunity to get off on Euclid, so we're just coming up on the Santa Ana riverbed here. You know, if we widen out the shot, Eliana, right about, no, it does. Okay, so we do have additional units, 2 additional units of the CHP right over the Santa Ana River here, and it looks like they might have been preparing or potentially setting up for a spike strip type situation, but given the fact that there are so many additional cars on the road, that's not going to be a possibility at this point. I thought perhaps that maybe they were getting ahead of them to spike strip them, but again, that is not going to be a possibility given the fact, again, that there are so many additional commuters on the road here. He has picked up his speed a little bit here. I'm trying to, you know, Eliana's getting into the car there, and we're trying to see if we can
Mark
find
Kono doing a great job there in Sky 5. It is 6:02, and you're watching the KTLA 5 Morning News at 6 a.m. for about an hour now. This police pursuit has been going on. It started in the Long Beach area, surface streets, 20 miles per hour. This car failed to yield. It was blowing through stoplights. Then it hit the various interstates in the Long Beach area. We're talking about the 710, the 405, proceeded south. After circling in those freeways for a little while, proceeded south, and now we're all the way in Orange County. Now we're on the 73 toll road. As Megan, you mentioned earlier, eventually it's going to hit the Laguna area where it then merges again with the southbound 5, and that's exactly where they're heading as of right now.
Right, they're headed into South Orange County. It's believed to be a male driver. Right now we're starting to get a little bit more light, so we can possibly see if there could be a second person inside that car. But right now we just are being told that there's just one driver that they know of there. Again, failure to yield about 5 a.m. this morning. This was in the Long Beach areas where it all started, and this guy just kept on going, failed to yield, and it's been going ever since. Speeds reaching probably the highest about 70 miles per hour. Thankfully, there haven't been a lot of cars on the road this morning, interestingly. So he hasn't put too many lives in danger, so to speak. There were a couple close calls a little earlier. There's a driver there. But all in all, some pretty light traffic, which has worked to CHP's advantage.
Yeah, and when you say close calls, they were very close calls. It wasn't like what we just see here, where he's just passing cars at a high rate of speed. We're talking about like near misses, almost collisions, and very fortunate that someone hasn't been hurt so far. And of course, that's what police want to avoid. One of the things that Mark Kono's been following is, with the lack of other automobiles on the road, is there an opportunity for the CHP to spike strip the guy, where they put down the spikes, puncture his tires, deflate them, makes them a lot easier to catch? And so far,
like, is he on the 5 freeway now, or is he still on the 7?
What's a good question? Let's ask Mark Kono.
Yeah.
Hey there, Chris and Megan. Yeah, good morning again. You were just talking about, Chris, the opportunity for them to spike strip the guy, and they just tried to spike him about a mile back here on the 73 over at Aliso Creek Road. We pulled out to a wider shot to show you the CHP movement there, but they missed him with the spike strip, so that actually has prompted this guy to speed up. Now we're talking about speeds in excess of 85 miles per hour here. It's kind of hard to tell when we zoom in tight, but he is traveling at a very, very high rate of speed at this point. We'll be coming up to the 5 in a matter of another half a mile or so. So this is becoming a very heated and a very energetic pursuit, perhaps, if you want to describe it in that way here. The southbound side of the 73 freeway will be coming up on the 5 here. In fact, he's just coming up on the transition to the 5 here shortly. He's passing up slower moving traffic, and so you can see how the pace of this pursuit has picked up dramatically here. Southbound side of the 73 freeway over towards the 5. He'll be entering the 5 freeway here, and that was perhaps another opportunity to spike him, but that has not taken place. He is moving at a very high rate of speed at this point. Again, they were just talking about 85 miles per hour. He'll be coming up on the bottom of that transition road, and when he does, he'll be fast moving along the 5 freeway southbound, just coming out of say the Mission Viejo area. And, eventually Laguna Niguel, San Juan Capistrano. So that will definitely be what is considered to be South Orange County at this point. But look at that. The pace of this pursuit has certainly picked up over since the Aliso Creek off-ramp where they tried to spike him. My guess is that he actually saw that, and that kind of perked him up a little bit here, and now the pursuit is really kind of taken a turn, towards the higher speeds here. Again, 85 miles per hour. He is definitely moving in and out of traffic. You can see he's moving through slower moving traffic, and we'll be coming up on San Juan Capistrano here shortly, over towards San Clemente, and this is going to be considered the south part of Orange County here. A very high moving, very fast moving CHP pursuit coming through Orange County at this point. Guys?
Yeah, now you can see as he's on the 5 freeway, traffic is starting to build, which is going to make this a lot more difficult for CHP officers as they continue to pursue him. Once again, as Mark mentioned, his speeds have now increased. He's now going about 85 miles per hour. He stayed pretty much up until this point until about 55, 65 miles per hour. But now things are starting to get more dangerous, and you can see traffic building for sure southbound on the 5 freeway.
And you know what's interesting about this is we're talking about it's a red or maroon Saturn sedan, and what's interesting about it is this sedan, it's the S series. Last year it was made was 2002, so you're talking about an older model car.
Right.
You know, as officers try to spike strip it, it's not going to hold up well, is the bottom line.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to bring this to an end, because as we just saw earlier and heard from Mark Kono, they attempted to spike the guy, and that has prompted him, as you're seeing on your screen right now, he has accelerated greatly.
Absolutely.
He was hovering around the speed limit earlier, apparently, because he was just, passing cars kind of barely. Now he's flying by everybody.
Yeah, and again, once again, he's probably now in the San Juan Capistrano area, going to be headed into San Clemente. Then there's Oceanside, and then he starts kind of getting into San Diego County at that point. Let's go up to Mark and see where he is now at this point. Mark, do we have an idea of his location?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, Duke. Okay, thanks. Hey guys, sorry about that. Yeah,
okay.
Coming through San Juan Cap at this point here, we just passed Sarah, J. Paul Sarah, J. Sarah, and southbound on the 405. Sorry, southbound on the 5 freeway is where we are at here now. We're just going to be coming up on the 1 Camino Las Ramblas over towards Coast Highway here, and again, this guy is traveling. Well, you're looking at it there at a very high rate of speed. He's passing up slower moving traffic on that southbound side of the 5 freeway here. So we're just asking the Duke ship, the Orange County helicopter, sheriff's helicopter, what the original want was, and they have not been transferred that information from the CHP at this point. But again, it looks like it was some sort of a reckless driving, maybe type of infraction that first caught the eye of the CHP as they tried to pull this person over again. A failure to yield. This car, we understand, is registered out of Bellflower, so that puts it up in the LA County area, not too far from where we initially heard that pursuit kick off near the 710 and the 405 freeway. Of course, now we are in deep Orange County here, passing San Juan Capistrano. We'll be in the San Clemente area in a matter of a couple of miles here, but look at this. Whoa, okay. Wow, kind of moving through some slower moving traffic there, and again, he is kind of swerving in and out, avoiding traffic here. A couple of near misses that we've actually seen. But here's a good look. Here's a good look at the front windshield here. No passenger. It looks like just the driver at this point, and so that kind of narrows down the amount of people that are in the vehicle that we can see. So there you go. Just one driver that we can tell here. There's the CHP. They're moving pretty briskly on the southbound side of the 405 freeway here in the number 2 lane, guys. Let me hand it back to you for just a second. I've got a question for the Duke
No, that's
ship.
okay. Once again, he's on the 5 freeway right now, headed through the San Juan Capistrano area, going to be heading into the San Clemente area. After that, going to be headed into the Oceanside area. Really high rates of speed at this point. He was kind of maintaining the speed limit up until this point, and then I'd say about 10-15 minutes ago he started going about 85, and that's where traffic is also starting to build and really making this dangerous.
Yeah, that San Clemente corridor, as people are, for a while there, it's obvious, there wasn't a whole lot of commuter traffic, but as we get toward the San Clemente area and people are heading south towards San Diego, you're going to run into some of that commute traffic. And as you talked about, the different spots after San Clemente, of course, he's going to get into an area that Camp Pendleton corridor, there's not a lot of places you can go. There's like one rest area. So he's going to be on a good 20-mile stretch where he can't do anything but go. And there's going to be points where the traffic is going to get pretty congested.
Absolutely. And Mark mentioned a little bit earlier, officers have been trying to get ahead of him for quite some time. They laid out some spike strips probably about 20 minutes ago. And unfortunately, he missed those strips, so that wasn't successful for them. So they're just continuing to follow him, hoping he's going to slow down, hoping he's going to eventually run out of gas or something. At this point, let's go ahead and go back up to Mark Kono, get an idea of his location. Have we gotten through San Clemente yet, Mark?
No, not quite yet, Megan. We just came out of the San Juan Cap area here, now coming into San Clemente, southbound side of the 5 here. We're coordinating with the base down there, the Camp Pendleton base, to try and get through their airspace unrestricted here. So again, southbound side of the 5, just coming through the San Clemente area here. Again, moving at a fairly high clip. Hang on just a moment.
All right, and as Mark does...
Thank you, Duke. Okay, guys, we're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, guys, just coming through San Clemente here, southbound side of the 5 freeway here. In fact, we're just passing on the southbound, the south of San Clemente High School, just to give you an idea here. So we are moving at a fairly high rate of speed here. They have just given us clearance through the Camp Pendleton area to stay along the 5 freeway here below 2,000. So that is some good news here as this pursuit continues to make its way down just off your left, Adam. Yeah, here we go. Kind of weaving in and out. We do have an idea where up the next spike strips. I'm not going to reveal that to you here because we don't want to telegraph that to anyone who may be in contact with this person here, but they do potentially have some spike strips set up ahead for this guy as he approaches a particular area here, so that will hopefully get this guy slowed down, as it appears that he has no intentions of slowing down. Suffice it to say, the spike strips will be set up here shortly as he comes down the 5 freeway here. So he is moving at a fairly high rate of speed here, coming up on an area of slower traffic. We've got a couple of big rigs just there on the right, and so again, just kind of continuing to move well, very fast in the fast lane of traffic there, being pursued by at least half a dozen units of the CHP. By my count, about 3, 4, and there are a couple on surface streets as well, kind of paralleling getting off and getting on the freeway at this point. So yeah, here we go, coming through San Clemente, and we'll be moving over towards the kind of Orange County, San Diego County line here in a few miles, and up ahead I do have some lower clouds here, so we're going to have to kind of maneuver around here given the other air traffic. So I'm going to hand it back to you for just a minute or so, guys.
All right, no worries. Thank you, Mark. Once again, southbound 5 freeway, this pursuit continues. They're headed into the Oceanside area now. This has been going on since about 5 this morning, started in about the Long Beach area. This suspect, originally, police were attempting to pull him over for failure to yield, reckless driving.
He's slowing.
He's starting to slow down because traffic is starting to slow as well. A lot more traffic is building in this area.
Well, Mark also alluded to something earlier that he didn't want to tip off the driver to. I'm wondering if it's something along that lines too. This is fascinating because this is what we talked about. The farther south that he goes, the more he's going to actually run into commuter traffic for San Diego.
Right.
And it looks like he's hitting it right now.
Yeah, once again, southbound 5 freeway is where he is. It looks like he may possibly try to exit at this point. Mark, can you hear us and give us an idea of where he is? I think they're in the San Onofre area.
Okay. Yeah, stay along the shoreline. I'm at 1,000. I've got Duke in sight.
All right. Mark?
Yeah, guys. Okay, sorry about that. We're coordinating quite a bit here, given the fact that we're coming through a restricted area, and the weather is coming down a little bit here. So we're excuse our situation here. Southbound on the 5, Christianitos is where we are at now. We're coming up on the San Onofre nuclear power plant in about a mile and a half or so here. We're along the shoreline here, and as we pull out to a wider shot, Eliana, just a little bit to the left here, we're going to see that Duke helicopter just to the left, and it's basically right next to us at this point, and that is the helicopter, the Orange County Sheriff's Department helicopter, that is now following the chase here. He picked up the pursuit along the 73 freeway, so just a few minutes ago, as this pursuit was kind of making its way through the Orange Coast area here, the Newport Coast area, I should say. So again, southbound side of the 5 freeway here, passing Christianitos. Will be coming up on the San Onofre off-ramps here in just a moment here, and beyond that, we're going to be heading over towards the San Diego County line. So this pursuit has really taken us through a couple of counties here, so starting in LA County, coming through Orange County, and we'll be nearing the San Diego County line here. Shortly, the CHP, of course, a multi-jurisdictional agency that has units set up ahead of this guy, and hopefully they will be given the opportunity to slow this guy down in the form of spike strips, or maybe he, as you mentioned, will run out of gas. We don't know. Given the opportunity, this guy has just resisted any attempts by the CHP to get this guy pulled over safely, and he is now kind of taken to the freeway at a very high rate of speed, very dangerously, in fact. They did set up some spike strips off the 73 freeway here, and copy TV5. And again, they're just telling us that there might be some sort of a measure put in place shortly up ahead to get this guy slowed down a little bit here. But he is traveling, again, at a very high rate of speed, moving in and out of slower moving traffic. And so it is just a potentially dangerous situation for the other commuters on the road here, guys. Let me send it back to you for just a moment.
All right, we have that tight shot there, which is incredible. Sky 5 overhead. You're watching the KTLA 5 Morning News at 6 a.m. This pursuit been going on for more than an hour. Started in the Long Beach area. It wound its way around surface streets initially, failure to yield, blowing through stop signs, stop lights. Then it hit the freeways in the Long Beach area, kind of making a large circle. Then it hit the 405 South. That went on for a while. Then it went to the 73. 73 went all the way through Laguna and then back onto the 5. And that's what you're seeing right now. It's all the way into the, if you want to just get an idea, it's past San Onofre Nuclear Power Plant. And, of course, you're getting into the Camp Pendleton area now.
Right. Of course, it started in L.A. County, went into Orange County. Now we're getting into San Diego County. As Chris mentioned, going on since about 5 a.m. this morning. And this guy, he's dangerous. He's been going speeds topping about 85 miles per hour. He's maintained the speed limit at times, but also gone very, very fast, and his traffic has slowly started to build, continued to be a threat to other drivers. A little bit earlier, we were getting reports that officers tried to lay down some spike strips to try to stop him. That unfortunately did not work. So now they're just trying to figure out what to do next.
Exactly. And one of the things I'd like to ask Marcono is how fast do you think he's going now? Because he's passing people that are probably going 65, 70 miles an hour. Is this guy doing 80, 85, 90 now?
Right.
Is he trying to top 100? And that car is more than 15 years old.
And he keeps using his blinker.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Well, and hazard lights,
which
is,
yeah.
and that car, the last model year for that Saturn S sedan was 2002.
Right.
So the car is at least 15, going on 15 years old.
Yeah, Marcono, are you able to talk to us, give us an idea of his location at this point? I'm guessing he's got to be coming close to Oceanside if he's not there already.
Mark.
Yeah, he is basically coming through the Camp Pendleton area here, continuing southbound on the 5 freeway. You guys...
Okay, we've been losing his signal because he's been following him for so long now. Didn't work. Let's go back to Mark.
Yeah, guys, coming through the Camp Pendleton area here, southbound on the 5. You guys were asking about speeds in excess of 90 miles an hour at times, and that is in stark contrast to what we were seeing when we first picked up the pursuit coming through the Long Beach area, where he was, kind of going more a little bit on the slower side of things here, but things are definitely picking up a brisk rate of speed there. You see him passing up cars and cars that are moving at freeway speed, so that right there will tell you that in excess of 80, 85, but we have heard as much as 90 miles an hour on this southbound side of the 5 freeway. Again, coming through the Camp Pendleton area. Yes, Megan, you alluded to the fact that he might be coming through the Oceanside area, and that is going to be happening over the course of the next few miles here. So Oceanside, of course, Carlsbad, if he continues on the southbound side of the 5 freeway here. But again, we are moving at a very high rate of speed, so given that fact, we should know what his direction is over the course of the next several minutes here. To this point, he has been on the 405 freeway, the 5 freeway south, out of the Long Beach area here, crossing into 3 different counties as he makes his way, trying to get away from the CHP. From the initial want, we understood that it might have been some sort of a reckless moving violation of some sort, and the CHP promptly tried to get this guy to pull over, but there was a failure to yield. He basically resisted, and the chase was on. And here we go, continuing over an hour later, so passing through nearly 3 counties at this point. The southbound side of the 5, this guy is moving. Again, look at that, moving at a rate that is briskly passing some slower traffic there. So again, 80 to 90 miles an hour is fair to say. Again, as we move in towards the San Diego area here, there is one law enforcement helicopter overhead, and that is going to be the Orange County Sheriff's Department Duke helicopter, and they have been communicating with us as well as with the Camp Pendleton authorities here, letting them know that we are coming through the area here through their base. And so again, yeah, there we go, southbound on the 5 freeway here as we exit the Camp Pendleton area over the next few miles here. This is a stretch of open road here where it is not too heavily traveled at this early morning hour here. You do see there are additional commuters there, but again, given the fact that we're coming into San Diego here shortly, not too much in the way of traffic on that southbound 5. So again, this is going to be that open stretch of roadway here through Camp Pendleton with the beach on the right and the base on the left here, and we have a lot of activities here, military activities that take place on this particular stretch of Camp Pendleton here. But once we exit the Camp Pendleton area here, we'll be heading in towards Oceanside, and we will see where this guy ends up. And again, look at this guy. He's just showing no signs of slowing down. 5 copies as well, thank you. And showing no signs of giving up at this point, just resisting all attempts by the officers for this to end peacefully. But again, just a failure to yield, and this guy just is not giving up. And given the opportunity to do so many times over, he was spike stripped over off the 73 freeway at Aliso Creek, but that spike strip did not get any of his tires, and it was at that point that he began to pick up speed here. So probably a realization that they are going to of forcefully try and get this guy to slow down, and that is what prompted this guy to pick up speeds again here. So again, southbound side of the 5 coming through the Pendleton area, and that will be for the next 2 to 3 miles as he makes his way in towards San Diego, guys.
All right, Mark Kono, thank you very much. He's in Sky 5 right now. We're not gonna break away. We're just gonna allow him to switch signals. The mountains that relay his signal, we need to switch those. So we're cutting away from him only briefly so we can go right back to him. They're approaching the ocean side and the Carlsbad areas.
Right.
You're gonna see the commuter traffic certainly pick up.
Yeah, they're in a long stretch right now, so thankfully not a lot of traffic
He's
for
back.
him to put drivers at risk. However, yeah, as we continue to go into the San Diego area, traffic is going to start building at 6:22 on this Monday morning as a lot of folks head into the San Diego area to start their morning. Mark Kono, we have you back. Where is he now?
Yeah, let's real briefly, let's pull out to a wider shot real quick, Elian. And on this side of the freeway here, that is going to be the Pendleton area where they have hovercraft operations. And that is their hovercraft base where they work off the beach here. But that is kind of where we are at, just to give you an idea. We're coming through the Pendleton area and be coming into Oceanside proper here momentarily. Continuing southbound on the 5 freeway here, and that is where we are at. And so that is where we continue to be. Let's see, 123. Okay. Let me just swap frequencies here while I've got you guys here. So, again, coming out of the restricted area through Camp Pendleton, southbound on the 5 freeway here, we are continuing to follow this pursuit. This guy continuing to resist any efforts by the CHP to get this guy to pull over here. But he is being now pursued by several units of the CHP as well as a law enforcement helicopter above from the Orange County Sheriff's Department. And so, look at that, just moving through, weaving in and out of slower moving traffic on that southbound 5. And this is just, what an incredible set of circumstances here. I mean, given the fact that this guy has been on this for nearly an hour and a half at this point, it is just really incredible the way he is just kind of resisting all attempts. I mean, how far does he intend to take this till he runs out of gas? Is he trying to get to the border? Is he trying to get to some different location in San Diego? I mean, we understood this pursuit, or this car is registered out of the Bellflower area. So again, we're talking about the LA County area where this pursuit initiated, near the 710 and the 405. So this guy has come a long way, and over the course of the hour and a half that we have been following this pursuit, again, various driving infractions that we've seen, of course, speeding. It looks like he's going to make his way over to the right here, guys. Hang on just a moment here. Is he going to make some kind of an abrupt maneuver to the right? Okay, he's just going to continue south. We're coming through the Oceanside area, just to give you guys a heads up of where we are at now. We're just coming up to the south side of the Oceanside Airport, and so that is going to be, just to give you guys an idea, we're coming into San Diego proper here. But again, just a fast-moving pursuit on the southbound side of the 5, guys.
Yeah, once again, Mark, thank you. Doing an excellent job up there. 6:25 on this Monday. We have been following this high-speed pursuit since about when it started about 5:15 this morning. As Mark mentioned, started at the 405, 710 freeway area in about Long Beach. This guy has not stopped since then. Made a few stops through a few surface streets before getting on the freeway. Went on the 5 freeway. At one point, he was on the 73. We've gone through LA County. We've gone through Orange County. We're heading now into San Diego County. Initially, apparently, police tried to stop him for a failure to yield, a reckless driving, and he's just kept on going ever since.
Right, and he's driving a 2000, well, we don't know the exact model year, but they stopped making the S series of Saturn in 2002, and that has a gas capacity of 12.1 gallons. You know, you do the math. If he had a full tank, he'd go for quite a while. We just don't know all of those factors, but he has been going on an hour and a half now at a very high rate of speed. CHP's been behind him the entire time. As we've mentioned, they tried to spike strip him at least one time, unsuccessfully. Now is he getting off? Mark, can you hear us?
It looks like he may be exiting here, guys. And just to give you an idea, we are right at Coast Highway off the 5 freeway here. He's going to be coming right up on us here. We are in Oceanside. In fact, I'm hovering over the Oceanside Pier, just to give you an idea here now. The distance from the 5 freeway to the pier is just about half a dozen blocks or so, but it looks like this guy is going to be taken to surface. opportunity to stay in the right lane and basically hook around and get back on the northbound side of the freeway here. And it looks like that truck is going to force him into a situation, perhaps. No. Okay, he's not going to be forced onto the freeway there. He's going to go northbound and eastbound, perhaps, or northbound off the 76 freeway is where we're going now. So, wow, okay, this guy's taking us through Oceanside now, off the 5 freeway, heading inland, away from the beach, along the 76 freeway, or along the 76 highway at least, and we'll be coming into an area where there are, well, basically residential neighborhoods here. This looks like a main thoroughfare through the Oceanside area here. Again, the 76, and off to the left and off to the right, we have a creek on the left, and we have a kind of a residential community off to the right here. But this guy not necessarily driving too fast here, but we are kind of making our way inland, off the beach, off the 5 freeway, off the 76, or on the 76 freeway, heading essentially to the kind of north and perhaps east along the 76 freeway. So this will be another way in towards inland San Diego. But again, we've been following this again for the better part of an hour and a half at this point, and this guy is just resisting every effort by the CHP to pull over here. And this is just a 2-lane stretch of the 76 freeway here, so if he intends to make any kind of evasive moves here, this could be a potentially dangerous situation, as there are commuters on this freeway here. In fact, he's going to be coming up on an area where there are traffic, where there are vehicles up ahead stopped at a red light, and he's just coming up on that right now. So let's see what he does. Is he going to weave in and out? Is he going to get in the left turn lane? And it looks like at this point he's going to be getting in a left turn lane here, so we'll try and get it kind of a street for you here. But again, moving up the 76 freeway, it looks like is he going to turn left? He's okay. Let's see what he does here. He's going to make it through the intersection here, kind of gingerly traveling through the intersection there, just hoping not to get hit by any sideways coming traffic there. But continuing along the 76 freeway, this particular freeway passes the Oceanside Airport. So as we widen out the shot just a little bit here, on the bottom side of the screen is going to be the Oceanside Airport. There's the Oceanside Airport right there. So the 76 freeway, we are just parallel the Oceanside Airport right now, and it looks like he's kind of picking up speeds again. Going through that green light, okay, but again at a very high rate of speed here, higher than normal, higher than what you would normally see on a 2-lane stretch of the road here. So here we go, again on the 76 freeway. We just passed the Oceanside Airport, and looking up ahead, it doesn't look like there's much in the way of traffic. However, it looks like he's coming up on an intersection. His light is going to be green at this point, so he's going to be going through the intersection there straight away. But we had heard that coming through the Long Beach area on Surface Street, that this guy was blowing through stop signs, blowing through red lights, and that is you know, kind of a pattern of driving that he had been making through the Long Beach area here. Let's see if he continues that pattern in the Oceanside Airport here along the 76 freeway, guys.
Yeah, and what's interesting about the 76 is he's away. He's a good bit away from this point, but eventually it connects with the 15.
Right.
And then you're talking about going through northern San Diego County and then up through Temecula and all of that. So he could be doing a huge circle by the time it's all said and done. Hopefully the CHP will have an opportunity to stop him before it ever gets to that point, because there are a number of street lights that he's going to have to blow. Here's another one.
Yep,
apparently that one was green. Based on the cross-section red light. But anyway, so that's what he has to deal with. That's what the CHP has to deal with. There's numerous intersections before he even gets to the 15.
Yeah, creating more and more dangerous situations kind of across the board. Once again, this guy's been going since about 5 a.m. this morning. We've been following him ever since. Mark Kono, looks like we're coming up on another intersection. All right, there he goes.
Yeah, Rancho Del Oro, guys. Rancho Del Oro is where we are passing here. We're just about a mile to the east of Oceanside Airport here. Continuing along the 76 freeway, we're just going to kind of move over to the other side where the light is going to be a little bit better for us here. But Rancho Del Oro is what we had just passed. That was the intersection. And again, this particular stretch of the 76 freeway or the 76 highway appears to be just a 2-lane stretch. Now, he is going to be coming up on a red light here, and there are a few cars stopped at the red light in front of him, including it looks like some kind of a tanker there. So I'm just looking out the window here. Wow, he's okay. Whoa, my goodness. Okay, it looks like he might have made his way through a red light there. Old Grove. so he made his way through the red light there and just kind of blew through, and so now he continues along the 76 freeway, or along the 76 stretch of the highway here past Oak Grove, and so we continue to follow this coming through Oceanside here. Now we're just coming up on the area of the old Mission San Luis, and that is just going to be coming up right now. And so just to give you an idea of where we are at here, we are inland San Diego, just a couple of miles off the 5 freeway here on the 76, and so coming up on another area, and it looks like, okay, green light for him there. But you're kind of seeing the pattern there. I mean, if there's a red light, he's going to blow through it. If there's a green light, he's just going to drive right through. And that is continuing the pattern of what we saw earlier. So the only difference now is that on the surface streets here in Oceanside, he is traveling at a very high rate of speed. So he is not too shy about staying on the gas here. He's coming up on another intersection here. This one is most definitely going to be red. This is going to be College Boulevard. He's just about 100 feet away from the intersection. He's going to be getting into the right turn lane. Okay, oh boy. Okay, look at this, guys. He is attempting to make his way through traffic. Oh my gosh, almost got T-boned right there. Almost got T-boned, but was able to avoid that situation there. But just to give you guys an idea of some of the things that this guy is willing to do at this point, it looks like, you know, whether it's a red light or not, he's willing to blow through the intersection there. Fortunately, he did have enough sense to slow down before just blowing blindly through the intersection there, and kind of looking both ways and seeing if he had a window to thread the needle there. So Santa Fe Avenue, that is the next intersection, and he's just gone through there. And again, look at this guy, just with no intention to slow down or even stop for the CHP. This guy has total disregard at this point for commuters on the road, for pedestrians on the streets, and so you know, let's see what he does here. But he's coming up on slower traffic, and he's kind of weaving in and out, making some more erratic moves, and this is kind of a wake up from what we were seeing earlier this morning, where he was just kind of gingerly driving at speeds as low as 20 up towards 35 miles per hour on the streets of Long Beach, where we first picked this up. And now, without any regard to his fellow commuters on the road, here we go, driving at a very high rate, and just coming up on another intersection here, and this is going to be Melrose. Let's see what he does, and hang on just a moment. Let's see what he does. It looks like he's going to blow through that. Okay, a red light there. He's. Hang on just a moment. Let me hand it over to you guys.
All right. Once again, yeah, his driving is definitely getting more erratic as the morning continues. It's been going on about an hour and a half. We've been following this guy, started in the Long Beach area, LA County, making his way through Orange County, traveling on quite a few different freeways. At the beginning of this chase, he was maintaining the speed limit for the most part, but he's just gotten faster and faster as the morning has progressed. Of course, obviously, he's hitting some busier stretches of road, and now it's becoming a more dangerous situation, of course, as the morning continues to roll on and more commuters hit the road.
Exactly. We've seen it, like you said, it was bare. You know, the roads were bare. He had them all to himself. He could go as fast, as slow as he wanted. Now, as he approaches these intersections, he's really taking a lot of people's lives into, you know, risking a lot of people's lives. He's blown through multiple red lights that we've just seen in the past few minutes. One near miss with a person, if they hadn't hit the brakes, that would have T-boned him. So that's what we're dealing with here. And he's heading, I guess you could call it northeast on the 76 highway. Sooner or later, he's going to hit the 15. It's still a good bit away, but that's the direction he's coming or going. And he's going to have to make a decision soon.
Right. Headed into the San Diego area.
Okay,
and
passing Vista Way through the intersection.
All right, Mark, yeah, you're just telling us right now the location he is right now. It just looks like he went through another light. What area are we in now?
He just passed Vista Way. He continues on the 76 freeway, kind of turning north along the 70. The 76 kind of curves east-west, north-south, and this particular stretch that he's on right now is kind of a northerly stretch of the 76. And so here we go. The 76 is where we are at. You know, as the distance of the 76 goes between the 5 and the 15, he's just past the halfway point, so he's getting a little bit closer to the 15 freeway, and we will probably be a lot closer to the 15 freeway over the course of the next maybe 5 minutes minutes or so. But just to give you an idea of where we are at here, we're along the 76, a little bit more than halfway from the 5 over towards the 15, and kind of that's where we are at right now. This particular stretch, the 76, is just a 2-lane stretch of highway here in either direction, and you can kind of see what he's been doing. He's been blowing through red lights. He's been weaving in and out of slower moving traffic, just moving very dangerously, and this is, doesn't bode well for the commuters on the road here, as he has had several near misses already. There's the CHP in close proximity to him, and that is certainly something that we like to see here. The CHP, kind of taking control of the situation here. We don't know how much fuel is on board. We don't know if they're going to be able to spike him. They were planning on spiking him at the scales off the 5 freeway, but of course he got off before he got to the scales, and so that is a situation that was ruled out by him getting off the freeway here. But here we go on the 76, and we continue to make our way over towards the 15, and that is kind of where we are at right now. We've seen the particular pattern of driving where he is just kind of driving recklessly at this point. He's coming up on an intersection here, guys. Coming up on an intersection. It's a red light, but there is no cross traffic. No cross traffic. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so full speed through a red light. No cross traffic that I could see, and so that, kind of played in his favor there. But had there been cross traffic, and I'm just looking at the intersection now, there are a whole bundle of cars going that particular direction now, and so he just kind of narrowly missed, being T-boned there. But again, this is kind of the pattern of driving that you've seen, blowing through another red light, coming out of the Oceanside area here along the 76, and we're heading over towards the 15 freeway. He's just past Mission at this point, and so kind of looking ahead, it's kind of that same pattern of traffic that we have seen. A few cars here and there, but nothing too much in the way of traffic. We do have traffic going in the opposite direction as well, coming from the 15 down towards the 5, and so all manner of traffic violations that we are seeing here. Near misses, blowing through red lights, speed violations here, evasion, felony evasion, failure to yield, and so this is turning into quite the book of infractions that this guy's going to be facing once he does get caught here. But time is on the hands of the CHP at this point. They have nothing but time on their side. They can radio ahead and get units up ahead of this guy, and to relieve anyone who has been in this pursuit again ongoing for the better part of an hour and a half, nearly an hour and 45 minutes at this point. But here we go, traveling again on the 76 freeway. Here we'll be coming up on another intersection shortly. It doesn't look like it's a lighted intersection. It looks like it's just kind of a cross traffic type thing here, but again, he's going to be able to continue here. He is coming up on an area where there are a few cars up ahead of him, and they are going to be slower moving at this point as he comes around this kind of right hand sweeper here. He's going to be coming up on a straight, and I see a few cars, maybe a half a dozen cars up ahead. Now, given the fact that this is just a 1-lane stretch, this is converged. This is kind of bottlenecked to a 1-lane stretch of traffic here. So this could pose some problems for him as he kind of makes his way up towards the 15 freeway here. If he stays behind slower moving traffic, and here's a truck right now. Oh God! Now this is okay. He's coming up on a. Oh my gosh! Oh boy. Okay, nearly a head-on collision at this point, and that is what he's going to be facing here, guys, as he comes up on the 15 freeway in about another mile and a half here. This has converged down to a 1-lane stretch of the freeway here, but as dangerous as it is for this guy, as well as for commuters that are going with the flow, as well as people he is encountering as oncoming traffic here, this has just turned into a very dangerous situation. And think about the CHP. What are they going to have to go through to get past some of these slower moving cars just to keep up with this guy? Fortunately, we do have the Duke airship, the Orange County Sheriff's Department airship, and they are still above calling the pursuit. And again, in about another mile or so on the 76 freeway, we'll be coming up on the 15 freeway, and let's see what he decides to do at that point. This guy has really kind of endangered a lot of people here, as we have seen over the course of the past couple of miles here. The 76 freeway will converge, or will cross with the 15 freeway in another looks like half a mile, and we'll kind of see as he snakes through the 76 here. But again, just an extremely dangerous situation here. This having turned into a 1-lane stretch of the freeway here, this has really created some problems for this guy, for commuters around him, as well as law enforcement, the CHP, that are attempting to keep up with him. Guys?
Yeah, as you mentioned, as we can see, this is a very dangerous stretch of road, one lane in each direction, quite windy as well. So it is making it really tough. But kudos to the officers behind him who've been able to stay on his tail kind of throughout this. Okay. Once again, he's on the eastbound 76 in northern San Diego County. This has been going on about an hour and 40 minutes now.
Yeah, it's been going on for a long stretch of time. And the thing about it, and we've seen it in these most recent minutes, he gets more and more daring, more and more bold in a very negative way. He's going to hurt somebody, and that's what the CHP is trying to prevent.
Looks like he's slowing down here. Mark, can you tell, is this a traffic situation?
Yeah, guys, we're coming up on Old Highway 95, and that is the intersection that he is just coming into right now. Old Highway. Whoa! Okay, so it looks like he is making a right-hand turn on Old Highway 395. Old Highway 395, and that basically parallels the 15 freeway here. And again, this is going to be a one-lane stretch of Old Highway 395. It's very lightly traveled, but you saw that. So he just missed. He just missed the turnoff for the 15 freeway, where he could have continued on the 76. He could have jumped on the 15 freeway either way, but he instead chose to jump on a little frontage road. It's a frontage road just on the south side of the 15 freeway. It's called Old Highway 395, and he is going to be moving into basically a hilly area here, a mountainous area, a very lightly traveled section of the freeway here. But okay, is he going to get off? He's going to be getting off the freeway here, and whoa, okay, a little U-ey there. Okay, so he flipped a U, and now he's going to be coming back up the other way. He might have thought that his prospects along Old 395, had he continued that way, might not have been too good. So it looks like he's kind of turned around, sir. So U-turn on Old Highway 395, and he's going to be making a right turn there. And let's see where he's at. This could be Doolin Road. This could be Doolin Road that he's making his way. And this is going to be putting himself into a residential community here. Let me see if I can find this for you here, guys. Under the 15 freeway is where he is at, and okay, something tells me that. Okay, guys, look at this. As we pull out to a slightly wider shot here, he's going to be moving into a residential community here, so this doesn't look good for this guy, and that is maybe some good news here. I can see, depending on where he goes, he's going to put himself into a cul-de-sac. Here, so let's kind of watch and see what happens here. Lake Circle is what we understood this to be here, Lake Circle, so let's kind of see what happens here. Okay. Lake Circle Drive. Lake Circle Drive is where we are at here, and this is a small community, and this is an area where there are a lot of cul-de-sacs here, so if he makes one wrong turn, it's going to potentially put this to an end. So
hey,
let's
Mark.
see, it's again along Lake Circle Drive. As the community goes, it's a small neighborhood, and Lake Circle Drive is the street that kind of goes around the circumference of the community. It's kind of a circular community just on the north side of the 15 freeway here. He's traveling at a very slow rate of speed at this point, very slowly, maybe contemplating his next move, but let's see what he does. Of course, his best bet is just to give up at this point, but if he continues along Lake Circle Drive like it looks like he is doing, he can make his way around the neighborhood here. But look at that. We have 1, 2, 3 units of the CHP behind. We have, of course, that sheriff's helicopter from Orange County still overhead watching the action here. The CHP units are basically gearing up. If this guy stops and tries to footbill, they're going to be on him, quick as they can here. But look at it. He's going to make a right turn. Is he going to pull over here? Okay, so it looked like this guy is basically weighing his options, and given the fact that he's on Lake Circle Drive, put it this way, if he continues on Lake Circle Drive, he can make his way through the neighborhood, but it'll be kind of a trick to do it. But if he makes a left turn or a right turn in any given direction, he's going to put himself in a cul-de-sac. So likely the scenario here is that he's just going to continue at this pace and see where these kind of streets take him here. But he is, again, in this little community here, right off the 15 freeway, just on the other side of Old Highway 395, and he's just kind of walking through the neighborhood here. And again, Lake Circle Drive, we have 3 units of the CHP behind him, and of course the Duke helicopter up ahead. It almost looks like he wants to come to a stop here. Those are the brake lights coming on.
Hey,
and
Mark.
so brake lights coming on. Is he going to stop? No, he is not stopping yet. He is basically 3/4 of the way through the community here, again, on Lake Circle Drive. This is just kind of a tense situation here. We certainly hope that this guy comes to his senses and just kind of gives up here, but it looks like he's just kind of weighing his options here. Again, if he goes straight, he'll make it, well, if he makes a couple of the right turns here, he might get through the community here, but okay, look at that. He's turning into someone's driveway. Let's see what he does. Okay, we just happen to be in a perfect position to see what could... Okay, are they going to try and stop him? They're going to try and stop him right there. You see the CH... Okay, okay.
Oh, okay. Now, apparently his signal is freezing.
The THP efforts to try and stop him right there, but that did not happen. And now, okay, now he's made a right turn. Now he's made a right turn. So this is an opportunity for this to come to an end. Okay, I think he realized that he might have trapped himself there. See, I think he just... Hey, if he makes a right turn or a left turn on any one of these streets, it's going to be a cul-de-sac, and he's going to trap himself. So if he stays along Lake Circle Drive here like it looks like he's doing, he might make it out of the community here. They tried to pit him. You see that back bumper cover hanging off the car right now. So they are making efforts to try and put this to an end here. But again, to no avail, with no luck at this point. They're coming up on the end of Lake Circle Drive. They'll be coming up on Avocado here. If he gets over to Avocado, which it looks like he's going to be doing over the next couple of feet, it looks like he's going to be back. Okay. Back, left turn. And now he's on the main street again. Essentially, he is basically heading over towards the 15 freeway again. And so I do have a couple of, at least one unit of the CHP over on Lake Circle Drive. So he's basically made a circle around the neighborhood. Basically made a big circle around the neighborhood, around Lake Circle Drive. He's now on, we believe, Doolin Road, and making his way over towards the 15 freeway again. So, wow, this guy is just, okay. Again, he's pulling into the neighborhood here. Okay, this is going to be a cul-de-sac, guys. This is going to be a cul-de-sac. He's not going to be able to get out of here unless he makes a U-turn and gets by the cops somehow, but he's pulled into an area where, let's see, off Doolin Road. It's a small residential street. It's going to be Lake Park Place and Lake Shore Place. If he makes a left, boom, he's going to hit a cul-de-sac. Not going to be able to get out of there. So he's made that left. He's going to be coming to the end of the cul-de-sac here momentarily here. There is the cul-de-sac. So let's see what he does. Is he going to try and make the U-turn and get by the cops going the other way? Let's see. Uh-oh, he's going to charge him. Here he goes. Gaining speed right past the cops. Okay, so he's going to have to make a right turn to get out of this cul-de-sac, and it looks like he's doing so. He's getting out of the neighborhood. He's just made his way past Lake Shore Place, back Lake Park Place, and over towards Doolin Road again. So Doolin Road is that main street. He's going to be making a right turn up Doolin Road, and Doolin Road is kind of the main street going through the community here, so he can get out of here if he kind of plans this well. But again, we thought it might be coming to an end at that cul-de-sac, but you saw him actually gaining speed and charging at the CHP officers before kind of weaving through the two officers that were there. But again, Doolin Road basically moving away from the 15 freeway. Wow, okay, he's going back into the neighborhood here, He is going into another set of cul-de-sacs here, and that is going to be Lake Park Court and Lake Shore Court, right off Doolin Court. And so this is going to be another interesting situation here. There is only one way in and one way out. Let's see what he did just a couple of minutes ago here. He's going to pull into a cul-de-sac, realize his mistake, and he's going to make the U-turn. Are they going to try and stop him, or is he going to make his way out? We have one unit of the CHP. They are not going to block. They're going to let him through and continue in behind him. So there he goes. He's going to be coming out of that cul-de-sac back over towards Doolin Road, D-U-L-I-N Road, and he's going to be making the right turn and up Doolin Road over towards Lake Circle Drive. And so just kind of making his way in the neighborhood here. I suspect he has no idea where he's at, and he's just kind of randomly making turns here. If he makes this turn, this is going to put him on Lake Circle Drive again. So Lake Circle Drive is the street that he was on when he first entered the community about 10 minutes ago here. So this can actually conceivably take him to the opposite end where he just kind of came out of about 2 minutes ago here. So I suspect that this guy has got no clue where he's at right now, and he's just kind of making his way, trying to, forestall the inevitable of being captured by the CHP here. But there we go, Lake Circle Drive. now being pursued by 4 officers here. He's just kind of making his way through the neighborhood, not necessarily traveling too fast. I don't even know if he realizes that this is the same street that he was on about 5 minutes ago, but there you go. Lake Circle Drive traveling through this particular neighborhood here. Lake Circle Drive is basically a circular street that goes around the circumference of the neighborhood here. I don't know what the neighborhood name is, but if he makes a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn, he's going to put himself into another set of cul-de-sacs here, so effectively, increasing the chances of the CHP getting this guy pulled over, but again, showing no signs to do so at this point.
Hey, Mark, real quick, this is a good point to go ahead and interject. We've been told by our producer that the latest email from the California Highway Patrol says this could be a woman. And I know you've said the whole time we weren't certain one way or the other, so they're saying it quite possibly could be a woman behind the wheel of all of this.
Okay, Lake Circle Drive, it looks like he's coming to an end. It looks like he's coming to an end. They're going to pit him. They're going to pit him. Pit. Okay, all right, and he's going into the neighborhood here. Okay, this is going to be a cul-de-sac. This is going to be an offshoot cul-de-sac. And, wow, okay. They tried to pit him. They, in fact, did pit him here. He's moving his way into a cul-de-sac. We'll try and get the street for you, but he's going to be coming to the end of the cul-de-sac here. There he is, and let's see, are they going to put a stop to this right now? And oh my gosh, onto the lawn. Whoa. Okay, onto the lawn, back onto the street, and he collided with a secondary car. Oh my gosh. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what this guy is doing, my goodness, he's showing no regard. Okay, the CHP is blocking the exit to the cul-de-sac street. The CHP is blocking. There you go. He is not going to be able to get through unless he jumps onto the sidewalk here on either side, and it looks like they may be willing to do that here, but look at this. Okay, so they've got him boxed in. Don't let him charge that CHP officer with the door open there. But wow, what a brave officer here. If he gets out, he needs to back away from that car before that guy charges, but there he goes. Okay, this could be coming to an end here very shortly here. This is a cul-de-sac off Lake Circle Drive. The CHP officers that you see there attempting to approach him from both the driver and the passenger side here. Very brave CHP officers as that one officer attempted to block. They're going to shatter that passenger window. They're going to try and get that door open here, and they're going to try and get this guy from one side or the other, but look at the actions of the CHP officer as they try and clear away the glass that they had to break. There's the driver door open, and there is the suspect. A female, guys, a female. There you go. Female being taken into custody right here in this particular neighborhood off the 15 freeway here. A very dramatic ending here to this CHP pursuit. My gosh, where they literally had to block this street off and break into her car to take her into custody here. But again, that looks like she is the only person in the car. We hope there are no kids in the car or anything like that, but it appears that there was just one person, the driver, a female driver at this point. To this point, we thought that this was perhaps a male driver, but it looks like it was a female driver this whole time, and now she has been taken into custody here. This is going to be right in the neighborhood, right off the 15 freeway, Old 95, again, Highway 76 is also a street that is very close by here. So this is, potentially some very good news here that they were actually able to bring this to a close. It looks like they were able to bring this to a close on Lake Circle Road, right off of Lake Circle Drive. So this is certainly some good news here, as this is now Code 4, and they have taken this driver into custody. Guys?
All right, Mark Kono, excellent work, and excellent work by the CHP. I mean, that was just, wow, crazy to watch, wasn't it? 6:54 is the time. Once again, this police pursuit finally coming to an end after about 2 hours. We've been showing it to you since it started about 5 a.m. this morning, started in the Long Beach area, went from LA County into Orange County, from Orange County into San Diego County. A number of freeways involved, a number of side streets involved, a number of neighborhoods involved as well, and thankfully, this came to a peaceful ending.
Absolutely. You're watching the KTLA 5 Morning News. We'll be right back.
Chris and Jessica, yeah, good afternoon or good morning. We saw this live on our air for nearly 2 hours at this point. Where we are is Fallbrook here, the termination of a CHP pursuit of a reckless driver here that we carried on our air for nearly 2 hours, coming down the 5 freeway from the Long Beach area here, down the 405, down to the 5 freeway here through Oceanside, and ultimately ending up in Fallbrook. In this particular neighborhood here, this is going to be a Lake Circle Road, which is right off of Lake Circle Drive. The CHP having to perform some very brave and evasive maneuvers to get this person to stop here. Once they got this person to stop, it turns out that this was a female who was behind the wheel here. No other passengers at this point, but again, a very serious situation where safety was being compromised by other motorists on the freeway as well as on Surface Street. Several near misses, blowing through red lights here, several collisions that took place, especially towards the end of the pursuit here. But again, this person has been taken into custody here with relatively little harm done, aside from the fact that there was the danger factor here in a few collisions. But again, this female driver, a reckless driver at that, was taken into custody here in Fallbrook. This is going to be right off of the 15 freeway near Old Highway 395 near Highway 76. This is Lake Circle Road, which is a small offshoot of Lake Circle Drive, right alongside the 15 freeway. All's well that ends well, a peaceful ending, relatively speaking, to a long-standing CHP pursuit that lasted nearly 2 hours. Guys, that is the update from overhead. Let me send it back down to you in Hollywood.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Liberty Chan in for Ginger. We have a few accidents to talk about, so let's get over to our
Route 1 in Dedham. Police is, we understand, fired twice at this vehicle in part of the chase. Then the vehicle was able to get its way onto off from Route 1 in Dedham onto 128 North, and that's what we're seeing right now as Skyfox continues to follow this vehicle. Elizabeth Hopkins alongside as well. Elizabeth, we don't know what started this chase. We don't know what the suspect in this car is involved with or the circumstances that led up to this chase, but we do know this is a very active scene right now, and it's been going on for the last several minutes as it has gone from Route 1 to 128. You can see traffic now. This looks like it's in the Needham stretch where they've been working on expanding Route 128 and Highland Avenue there. So it's going to be very difficult, I would think, for this car to maneuver its way through the traffic. At this point in time, with the vantage point we have, we're not seeing any police giving chase. But again, this has been a very active scene. Shots fired by police at this particular vehicle, which is now on 128.
What's interesting is this is a particularly dangerous time to be flying through because you can see the traffic is somewhat thick in this area. And we have seen, I mean, this guy was just flying up 128. We heard exit 17, 18, and the numbers just kept climbing. This is just breaking in the last few moments or so. And now you can see what's interesting is he's actually had to slow down because of the speed of traffic. Now, of course, as our Skyfox is over the scene there, police are presumably behind and going to positioning themselves in front of this guy as well. But
it's really, Route 9 is coming up here where he might be able to try to get off, but you would think police would have a pretty easy time given the fact that this is so congested right now in being able to shut off. He's got some damage in the vehicle already. We can see on the driver's side, you also see it looks like a bumper hanging off of the other side. So he is trying to obviously weave his way through. There we see the police vehicle right behind giving chase at this point. And again, if you're just joining us, we don't know what precipitated this, what led up to the chase, but it started in Walpole, down Route 1, right up to here in Dedham, and again, a couple of shots were fired at this vehicle. He's banging into other cars as he tries to work his way to some point of an exit here, and it looks like he could be coming up on the Route 9 exit.
you know, the other drivers.
And it looks like that's what he's turning on to right now.
Yeah.
Look at him going by that dump truck.
And that police cruiser, state police getting off the exit, cutting right through. These other drivers not aware at all of the circumstance, presumably, that's going on here. You can see, as you said, a little bit of damage. This guy is doing anything he can to get away from cops. Look at him.
And he's cutting right across and now going the wrong way on Route 9, going the wrong direction. Incredibly dangerous situation. Not only that, through that construction area as well. We believe that's the Route 9 exit that he got off of there. And now it looks like he's turning back onto 128 to go in the other direction. That could be Highland Avenue there by the Muzzy dealerships. And in fact, I think that's what it is. So it was not quite to Route 9. He got off at the Highland Ave exit. Now he's turning around and trying to go back on 128 in the opposite direction.
And hopefully police are stationing themselves in the right place. But this is a guy who will go off the road, go in any direction, go the wrong way, as we just saw there. again, off the road, around these cars, and just skimming by that barrier over there.
So, police paying attention to this, Elizabeth, they do have points where they could try to keep this guy from getting off the highway at this point and blocking exits. He is obviously out of control, very dangerous situation, and paying no respect to any type of traffic law, obviously. Going the wrong way on Highland Ave there and cutting across the exit.
You know, it's being above this vantage point, you would think, okay, we've got him. We know where he is. We know where he's heading. But it is very difficult for both police and state police to be maneuvering through that traffic. We're going to take a look as he gets further down 128 South. We saw him loop around, cut across traffic, knock into other cars as he's trying to escape. The thing that concerns me, too, is that, again, there has been gunfire exchanged. And this is a person who clearly is doing anything he can and not concerned about either his welfare or anyone else's at this
We don't know what the suspects or suspect, and we don't know how many people were in the car or what was happening, but shots have been fired by police at this vehicle earlier in the chase. That actually happened, I believe, right outside our studios here in Dedham as the vehicle worked its way.
We heard the sirens going down the street.
And they were right across the street from where we are, and the vehicle was able to get back on 128, and now you see it on 128 South. Looks like heading to Great Plain Avenue in that direction would be the next exit that he could possibly get off here. So we'll see what happens. Oh. No, he spun out. There you can see he spun out and lost control. And now he's regained control of his vehicle. I'm not sure. And it looks like he's trying to get off at Great Plain Ave.
I know that we have someone getting ready on the phone. I believe Dan Linsky is going to be joining us, and he can actually join us now. Dan, taking a look at this situation here, we don't know how this started, but this is someone who is very quickly losing control of his vehicle. Oh, and has just stopped.
Yeah, the car is not operating, obviously. It's got severe damage, and I don't know if he's lost one of the tires. He may be driving on the rim. We see smoke coming the engine now. There's not much life left in that vehicle for sure, as we just saw that big spin out on 128. And from this vantage point, nobody in the passenger seat, so there could be someone in the back seat, but from what we're looking at right now, there's only a driver that we can see in this vehicle. And a lot of damage to that car as it makes its way at a rapid rate of speed down Great Plain Avenue, passing vehicles on the wrong side. And this has been going on now for at least the last 20 minutes or so.
Dan Linsky joining us on the phone now. Dan, your first blush, your first take on this?
A very dangerous situation for all involved. Hopefully law enforcement can get this guy under control. This is, please try and avoid the area. Let law enforcement get in there. They're going to have to take extreme measures with this guy to be cautious. It looks like he's, in a desperate mindset here, and that's a dangerous situation for all involved. We don't want a civilian to get engaged with this guy, and then he's got a hostage-type situation.
Well, he's now going through a residential neighborhood, Dan. I don't know if you can see what's going on, but he's going through a residential neighborhood, which is incredibly dangerous with the speed that he's driving at.
Dan, what is the concern? I mean, this guy may have to abandon this car fairly quickly here with all the damage that we're seeing here. And he is losing control even on some straightaways. What is the concern? If this guy gets out of that car and bolts, that could very quickly become a very dangerous situation for all the residents in that area. Am I right?
Absolutely. Residents should stay inside, lock the doors, and if he gets out of that car, there's going to be a very dangerous potential for a running gun battle if he's still armed and still able to fire shots at officers. So this is we need to get a number of officers in there so they can protect themselves, get the appropriate weapons, and hopefully take this guy into custody without any further altercations here. But this is very dangerous. If you're in that area, just close your doors, lock your windows. Tune to the TV and let law enforcement do their job. Do not get involved. Do not go outside.
All right, Dan, he's coming up to a traffic stop here, and he's just completely ignoring that and blasting by all the other vehicles. We want you to hang on for a second. We're going to check back in with you. Fox 25's Catherine Prada can give us a little more information, Catherine. This guy's now going up on the sidewalk trying to pass cars. Yeah. And, Catherine, we understand you heard the gunshots and have a little bit more information about what has transpired in all of this. Okay, I guess... Catherine Bertram, who Catherine is here now. She's in our studio. And Catherine, you were actually watching all of this as it was unfolding right outside of our studios. As this guy now has come to a stop at a Party City warehouse there, it looks like.
Yeah, Gene, as we're waiting to see what happens if he jumps out of that car, you can see the smoke rising from it there. We were watching the beginning of this chase. It entered Dedham from Walpole. Oh, and it appears actually there might be some flames coming out. We see a door opening, that passenger side door there, and someone getting out of the car. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Okay, so we see the suspect has gotten out of the car and again
Carrying
something. And he is trying now to escape on foot. His car is, he abandoned the car. Now he's trying to get away on foot after a high-speed chase with police. Police did fire gunshots at this particular suspect. And this is where the chase has taken us now as he's gone through down 128 in Needham and then doubled back into Dedham. Now he's going into this particular building here, and this is a very, very dangerous situation. Obviously very concerning to police because we don't know if that guy has any weapons on him or what the situation is, but he's now just gone into a building, and now he's come back out.
And it looks like what we're looking at here is a light-skinned male carrying a black backpack, wearing jeans and a black T-shirt. He just abandoned his car near a warehouse, got out of the vehicle, carrying something, pushed his way through, went into this building, came back out, ran through the parking lot.
Looks like an apartment complex. We don't know what building that is.
And there it appears he is again at the door.
Yeah.
And as you're saying, it does appear as an apartment complex, and Gene, it may be the case that he can't get past a certain level of doors without actually living there. But this is a guy who is...
just went to these apartment buildings off of Dedham Street and DFW Parkway.
All right, that looks like somebody's outside who's shooting, who's just happened to be a witness or a bystander there.
Now, this is off Dedham Street and VFW Parkway, an apartment there. And obviously, we just heard from Dan Linsky, and if he is still on the phone, Dan, just give us a perspective of what people in this building need to be doing right now.
Get into the bathroom, lie in your bathtub, wait for law enforcement to open your door. Get away from any windows, do not engage this individual. Let law enforcement do their job. Lock your door, get into your bathroom, lock your bathroom door, and shelter in place away from this guy.
An incredibly dangerous situation here. We see people starting to approach the building. There are some people who have come out of the building, not seemingly involved, maybe even unaware of this situation, putting their hands up. Again, police are approaching people who we do not believe to be the man who was driving the car.
And they are going inside now. We don't know if the suspect was able to get into the building or an apartment, if there's a back exit to the building, and maybe he took off on foot again. That's something police are investigating. They're going into this building right now. And as we watch this, let's get back to Catherine Bertram. And Catherine, you started to tell us what you were able to witness from right here in our Dedham studio across the street as this particular suspect got engaged and police actually started opening fire.
Yeah, Gene, Sky Fox was on top of this chase very quickly, and we watched it as it came down the main route here in Dedham just past our studio. We saw one instance where the car had an initial crash. It appeared flounder a little bit and stopped in the street. That's when we saw two police officers get out of their vehicle and fire shots. One of the officer firing shots at that car. And what you're seeing right now is this second instance. It's actually there at the median, the on-ramp to 95 North, Route 128. You see the car backing up, pinned in by that police SUV. Two officers, one with his gun raised, shooting at the car. The other officer chasing it, realizing that suspect was getting away, and then very quickly getting back in their SUV to attempt to chase this suspect down again as he headed back onto the interstate. And we saw how dangerous that part of the chase was. Very high speeds, weaving in and out of traffic.
And again, as Catherine says, this is video from literally just moments ago, really, because this is all broken just in the last, I would say, 30 minutes or so. We are going to continue to take a look at this video, which shows this vehicle, this silver or goldish colored vehicle that increasingly began to sustain damage as whoever was driving it, a man that we later found out was a light-skinned male wearing a dark T-shirt, jeans, carrying a backpack. He was the one apparently behind the wheel of this car, racing up 128 North, 95 North, going past exits 17, 18, 19, 20, and at at one point looped around, came back southbound. Jim, we saw him driving in the wrong direction.
Very dangerous. He took the wrong way. He weaved his way through a lot of tight traffic, 128 in the Needham stretch, where there's a lot of construction going on, if you've been driving through there at all. And this was earlier. This is on 128 near High Plain, Great Plain Avenue. You could see he spun out there and really lost control of the car. And this is back over the scene now live. That vehicle, we saw it sustain most of the damage on that spin out there. And the vehicle, obviously, you could see the tires blown out. And this is the vehicle now where it was abandoned on fire. So we've got a lot of different elements at play here. The car's on fire. Police have gone into that apartment building where the suspect who was driving this entered. We don't know what's going on in the building. Obviously, everybody in there hopefully is okay, because we don't know the circumstances in terms of what was going on. They certainly probably are unaware of the situation as well.
And there you see that apartment building. It is at the corner of Dedham Street and VFW Parkway. You can see a law enforcement agent outside. But what we saw was this driver go into the building, come back out, try to get in through another door, come back out again, and re-enter the building once more. At that time, apparently there were other people who live in that apartment building or had business in that apartment building who came out and were unaware of the situation going on. We're going to show you in just a moment that driver actually getting out of the car moments ago before it caught fire. And you'll see he's going to be carrying a black backpack, and he's going to run past this warehouse and try to make his way through this fence.
It seems he might have some familiarity with what this particular area. Again, this started in Walpole and worked its way down Route 1 through Norwood and then eventually through Dedham here, and then back onto 128 through Needham. Then he got off at Great Plain Avenue, and now he's in this particular area here. He knew to go through that fence and went through to the apartment complex. So there's a lot we don't know and a lot of just speculation. But I want to ask Dan Linsky. Dan, now that it appears anyway, to the best of our understanding, this suspect might be in that apartment complex. How are police handling this situation now? Are they going door to door? What is their approach?
The first thing they're going to do, Gene, is get a perimeter around that building. They're going to try and get any innocent individuals that they can safely out of that area. And then they will go make an assessment as to where this individual is. It will most likely be going door to door, house to house, trying to find him. But the main concern is to get people to shelter in place and make sure they're safe.
All right, and we're hearing that they may have actually apprehended the suspect. We have no confirmation on that right now, but we're waiting to find out, and Sky Fox over the scene, so hopefully we'll get that shot. And again, to give you some perspective of where this is down a little bit further on Route 1 now, as this particular driver turned around near the VFW Parkway, live on the left-hand side of the screen. And this was, as Elizabeth, where the heavy damage sustained as he crashed into that guardrail.
And then he was able to regain control of this vehicle. We saw him shoot off just as soon as he spun out and went across, you'll see him go across different areas. He'll go the wrong way, increasingly sustaining damage. Eventually, he had to abandon that car at that Party City warehouse that we saw, and that car ended up bursting into flames just a short time after he abandoned that vehicle. Incredibly dangerous things that could have harmed himself. Oh.
All right, it looks like we, sorry to interrupt, but here it appears that police have apprehended a suspect. Certainly, it looks similar to the clothing we saw on the person who got out of the vehicle. There is a gentleman in handcuffs being escorted by police, someone in uniform and someone who is in plain clothes. You can see the badge dangling around his neck. So hopefully this situation has been resolved and that everything is okay. Again, we don't know why he was being chased or any of the circumstances involving it, but you've got local police, you've got state police all involved here, and somebody clearly is in handcuffs and being led to a police vehicle. You see Dedham police there. We know Walpole police, probably Norwood police were involved. Also, as this thing made its way through Needham, very dangerous situation. Luckily, as far as we know, no one was hurt, and no innocent folks were hurt in any of the high-speed chase. But it appears that police now have their man.
And it has to be a huge relief to everybody in that area, because this was a situation that, as you're saying, Gene, brought together many different law enforcement departments, the state police, all to apprehend this man who really had no means of escape. I mean, we're taking a look at that bag that he carried out. If you look closely, you can see a trooper with gloves on reaching through that bag. We're certainly curious to know what was in it, because it was the one item that he pulled out of that car just moments before it burst into flames. flames.
And a very wide crime scene here. The best we know, this started in the town of Walpole, and then right down Route 1, which runs through the town of Norwood, a little bit through the town of Westwood, and then here in Dedham. Then he got on to 128 North, drove down 128 North, through a lot of tight traffic, wound up getting off on Highland Avenue and cutting across the median, going the wrong way on that road, turned on to 128, going the opposite direction where we saw him spin out, and where his car sustained most of the damage. That's a shot above Route 1 now, which is right near the VFW Parkway
area, and that car hasn't even been presumably hasn't even been touched yet. But this is another part of the story that they're going to need to approach fairly quickly here.
Yeah, and a very wild scene. Dan Linsky, I wanted to bring you back in here to talk a little bit more about what's, how do you determine as a police officer, as we talked about, a wide swath of area that was covered here?
How do you process a scene like this?
I would imagine there's got to be a lot of cooperation coming up between all of those local law enforcements and the state police to try to piece together what exactly happened here.
That's exactly it. The leadership of all those agencies is going to get together, find out exactly what happened, what started this, who's got the initial jurisdiction, the initial case in this investigation. They will work together. They've got to do a criminal investigation.
Completely unaware of the situation that was going on. Now, another look at that car that's in flames. We're seeing, it seems like explosions happening, and this car is going up like tinder, essentially, just totally engulfed in flames. Dan, how important is it that they get the flames out and are able to access this car to see what, if any, evidence may be inside?
The first concern is public safety, so the firefighters have to make sure that it's safe for anyone to go near that car. It'd be nice to get any evidence from the car, but the first concern is to get the fire out and to make sure there's no impact to public safety. They're going to have plenty of evidence, even with evidence that's destroyed inside the car, based on the nature of the circumstances of what this guy did today.
Of course, that car very, very close to a Party City warehouse, and you can see some dried brush around it. So this is a situation that they're going to need to control. But if you listen in the background, as we're watching, what looks like fireworks at some points coming out of this car, you can hear the fire department approaching the scene there.
Dan, I want to ask you, too, in terms of protocol, we're not used to seeing this type of thing around here. Usually we see the high-speed chase come from California or whatever. But in terms of the police pursuit, they didn't really chase after this guy. They seemed to keep a little bit of a distance, a buffer zone, if you will. Is that pretty much the way you want to handle things in a case like this?
Yeah, if you can, you want to give this guy a way out so that he thinks he can bail out and stop the running car chase. It's a very dangerous situation for the police officers, for the general public, and for the suspect. So a lot of law enforcement agencies are trying to drop back and not be right on the subject's tail, giving him an opportunity to bail out of the car where they've got opportunity to make it safer once the vehicle stops. So that's definitely a tactic that law enforcement does engage in if possible. Might have been helpful too that Skyfox was up and people were able to see what was going on and give him some room to run and let him bail out and get him once to get out of the car.
We're just seeing on the right side of your screen that interaction with police where their weapons were discharged. They fired at this vehicle and he was able to escape. It looked like they were going to be able to get him because he was surrounded by pine trees. He was surrounded by police, but he was able to slip away and take off once again. It really is just incredible video to see, and such a wide swath of area where he was able to not only travel but then crashed his car, escaped into an apartment complex where people inside seemed unaware of this man trying to access that building, came in and out several times before police were able to finally get into that apartment complex, get him, and then come out. We're seeing right now the firefighters who are about to douse this car that has gone up in flames in the last 15 minutes or so when that car was first abandoned.
Imagine, Elizabeth, driving along 128 there on the highway, and you're sitting in traffic and you're waiting, and this car comes in, weaving in and out.
Not only that, but he was banging into these cars. I mean, it just looked like some sort of monster mash at some point where he was clipping the tail ends, and certain cars moved over, presumably to exchange insurance information, which was not going to happen today.
No, and obviously the sign of someone who's, as you mentioned,
desperate,
incredibly desperate, with a reckless driving, and it's really remarkable and miraculous that there was not an incident when this car spit out on 128 here, for example, that there wasn't any other cars involved, anybody else got hurt, going through the residential neighborhoods at a high rate of speed and driving completely with reckless abandon. It really is remarkable that this thing came to the resolution that it did, but the fact that he got out of that vehicle and then ran into the apartment complex indicates that this guy's really, sometimes we've seen these things end where someone just waits in the car for the police to arrive or they'll stand outside. This guy had no interest in being part of that. He took off, as you see here, climbing through the fence, went into this apartment complex here in West Roxbury, and went into one building, came back out, probably couldn't gain entrance through the second door, went into another building, and either he just hid in the lobby or he was able to gain access. We don't know at this point.
When we were looking above at the, here's the arrest again on the right side of your screen, but when we were looking above at the car, Gene, you noticed that there was no one in the passenger side of this vehicle. What I saw was in the back, it appeared as though there were some items at the back windshield that were remaining in the car, but there was only one thing that this man took out of the car, and that was a black backpack. The police have that black backpack. They were looking through it, and at one point, tossed it on top of a police cruiser. They've got him. They've got that backpack, and now you see the fire department being able to put out the fires that engulfed this car very close to a Party City warehouse, and very close, as you can see there, to some dried brush.
And police are still putting out that fire right now. A very busy intersection there, a very busy stretch of highway at most times of the day.
Police chased through 5 local towns. After several wrecks, the car couldn't take it anymore and burst into flames right after the suspect got out. This morning,
Why'd you run? I love the public. Police stuff.
Not really a direct response. No real answers there, just venting some frustration. That was Michael LeBlanc, the suspect in that high-speed chase caught by Skyfox's camera. The chase captured New England's attention live on Fox 25 for nearly 30 minutes before police finally captured the man behind the wheel, 28-year-old Michael LeBlanc.
Well, units, we have Skyfox over it. He's slowing up the traffic now.
With Skyfox overhead and Fox 25's Bob Ward on the road showing LeBlanc's silver sedan out of control, police say the suspect might have led police on a chase starting with a dragged officer in Walpole to a fiery end in West Roxbury.
It looks like he's going to cause some damage. He's in a heavily traveled area.
All because of a recent criminal spree possibly involving an armed robbery. Walpole's police chief says LeBlanc might have been attempting a suicide by cop.
He actually asked the officers what he has to do to get shot by the police.
And that's a big reason why LeBlanc was on suicide watch here at the police department as he was kept here overnight.